for the Eternal Crusade. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Sinan from Sinbad Paints. Today we are painting newest addition to my Black Templars army, Crusade Ancient. Kit comes in as one single sprue, a 4mm base and instruction sheet. I can't get enough of those new Warhammer kits with clean, crisp plastic with ton of details. As always, sculpting on these newer kits is crazy sharp. Model is getting together pretty nicely, and you don't really need to sand any parts. But for me, it's just an old habit that I can't really get rid of. Alright, my painting arsenal is ready for the task. Let's start painting the base coat for all black parts. I'm using black from AK Interactive. To help me with the painting, I have the model sub-assembled and primed with Vallejo Gray primer. Why gray? Because I'm out of black primer, but I have ordered a couple of black spray cans for the next projects. I also gave a black undercoat for all the parts which will be metallic as gunmetal or gold. This excludes sword, as I have other plans for it. It's covered pretty good. Next up, I have painted off camera the banner with AK Interactive Supernova Red. I will be using the same red for the rims of his shoulder pads and Black Templars crosses. For parchments on the banner, I used Zundry Dust from Citadel as base color. I also used Zundry Dust to paint the base scope of his tabard or his cloak. Now I want to create the lava effect on the sword. I will be using similar technique that I have used on my previous model, Amulius. So if you haven't watched the video yet, I recommend you to give it a look. While ink dries, I painted the candles on his jetpack with vampire flesh from AK Interactive. No Black Templar should be without any candles. As for the remaining leather parts, I used Cyborg Brown from Citadel Contrast paint range. Alright, as yellow ink dried, let's put some orange ink on top. And to do this application, I use a small piece of a sponge. Once orange ink dries, I will be putting red ink from AK Interactive to increase the fire effect. Same application method with small piece of a sponge. To seal the deal, I will be applying black on the top layer. One single recommendation. Less is more, and stay away from uniformity. Let's now paint the metal parts. I will be using gunmetal from AK Interactive. And yes, you are seeing it correctly. I'm using an old pill covers. I do this because I want to keep metallic paints away from the wet palette that I'm using for non-metallic paints. Later in this video, you will be seeing me using an old wet palette only for metallic paints as well. Next, I painted purity seals with Perisher Pink from 2 thin coats. I will continue with painting gold rims on the banner, and I'm using Glorious Gold from Vallejo Game Color range. Then I will be painting the cross on the helmet and some part of the banner with Brassy Brass from Vallejo Game Color. As all base color are done, let's start with highlights. I will start the edge highlighting of the gold parts, and I will be using Imperial Gold from Vallejo True Metallic Metal System. That's one of the 4 colors used in Vallejo True Metallic Metal System, and as you can see it on the label, it is designed for painting the lights or highlights. As I was already working on the banner, next I wanted to start with highlight of the red parts on the banner. I have a mix of Supernova Red and Faded Orange from AK Interactive. As for the highest points, I used Fusion Orange again from AK Interactive. Now I will be edge highlighting the backpack. I'm using Neutral Grey from AK Interactive and a size 0 brush. I am happy with the result. For highlight of black armor, I took out my old airbrush and carefully spray a thin mix of neutral grey and black. I made some mistake during the application. For example, I covered the symbol on his left lower leg, but this will be fixed on later stage, so no worries. Next, I'm adding some basing textures. So as always, I'm using white glue and base texturing materials. My go-to paint for the base is Hull Red from AK Interactive. Now let's put some battle damage on the armor. I will be using green brown from AK Interactive, and I will be using a piece of a sponge to create random chipping. I'm also adding additional chipping effect with a lighter gray color, which is neutral gray from AK Interactive. Try to apply this light coat close to the chipping areas which painted previously with green brown. I edge highlight the leather parts such as belt and gun holster. My go-to paint is Shadow Flash from Vallejo. from my scaled modeling times, I have this Tamiya's Weathering Master Set, which is basically compressed pigments. I will be using it to imitate the burned metal on the backpack's exhausts. It's super easy to use. Get the pigment on the applicator, which is basically a makeup brush, and rub it on the desired area. As we are getting closer to the finish, I will be edge highlighting all the metal parts such as chains, belt buckle, rivets on the armor, and etc. For this, I'm using silver from Vallejo Game Color. Last but not least, I'm using Middle Earth pigment from Green Stuff World. And to really finish the model, I paint the rim of the base with black paint. And there he is. I am happy with the end result, and he will be taking his rightful place in my Black Templars army. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel. We would also appreciate to receive your comments about the build, about the channel, or what you guys would like to see next. We are posting weekly videos, so if you want to see more painting projects, join us next week. Thanks again for watching. For the Emperor, for Dorn, for the Eternal Crusade. See you next time.